Okay, so I'll share my screen, and okay, so I've shared my screen, and so let's get started. Sorry, I'm not able to speak properly because of my tooth surgery. Okay, so if you have to search Java, just give me 1 second. JavaScript, most simple question. If you search this thing, you get a lot of websites, blogs, and definitely you get one link of Quora also. If I go so and search, UDEV is also coming. UDEV website is also coming. JavaScript most interesting questions. See, so I only updated this blog long back. Quora. Okay, I'll start from there only. But you can get this answer on Quora also if you go down. Quora is not coming. I don't know why. Quora will also come. So, so what is reference variable? Anybody? What are reference variables? Okay, and how does it work? This is also given, but yeah, no issues. You can explain me what are reference variable? How does it work? Nobody knows this thing. What is reference variable?
Variable actually holds a value.
Okay. Okay. So let me give you VS Code. Let me open this VS Code. Sorry. Let's open a file. In a folder, I'll open the tree drive, then work folder, then work folder. Okay. I'll make a new file here. Okay, just like this expert. Yes. I'm talking about reference variables. Let's suppose I say, okay, where a equal to 100. In this, can you see any variable in this line?
Yes.
What is the name of that variable?
A variable.
A variable. So a is a variable, right? A is a variable. Yes, this is we are clear at this point. A is a variable. Sorry. But I am talking about variable, but I'm talking about a special kind of variable, reference variable. So is it right to say that A is a reference variable? Okay. No issues. I will give you a different example. Let's suppose I write where x equal to some object. Okay. And now I'll say, okay, there's a property named as name, and name is Let's suppose Raj. Simple example. So x is also a variable, a is also a variable. Okay, both are variables. But a, okay, variable you don't know. But can you differentiate between the type of these two variables? What is the type of a? What is the type of x?
It is number. A
Number.
is variable. A is a number,
Hmm.
and X is
Object.
object.
Object. Okay. So you are saying a is nothing but your number. Okay. And x is nothing but your object. Okay. Fine. But uh, my okay. So can you like classify these two types into another like two types? Number belongs to what type? Object belongs to what type? Do you remember that?
Primitive and non-primitive type.
Correct, correct, correct. Absolutely right. So your A, which is a number, okay, basically number or your boolean or your string, correct? These all are
Primitive.
primitive types. Okay, correct. Okay, whereas your object, anything which is derived from object like array, functions, whatever is what your non-primitive type, non-primitive types. And actually, non-primitive types are also known as object types, or simply objects, because ultimately everything is an object, which is when it is not. Everything is an object in JavaScript, which is not primitive. So except number, bool, and string, except the primitive types, every other value which is storing in a variable has to be of object type, or we can say non-primitive type. And actually, these are also only referred as a reference variable. But there is a reason to refer this as a reference variable. Why it is known as reference variable? Do anybody remember why these are known as reference variables?
If we use any
Hmm.
non-primitive type of data,
Hmm.
every time we use every time we use it refers to same place or same
Hmm.
memory location.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you are like you're going in the right direction, but you have to give me some example. Like, okay, this is why it is known as reference variable, and this is why it is not. This is not a reference variable. Like A is not a reference variable for a reason, and X is a reference variable for a reason. What is that difference?
So because
For
X
example,
holds a property, like holds a property name
Hmm.
in it. So
No, no, that is not the answer. See, object will as anyway going to hold properties, you know, and methods. That is, but that does not make it eligible to called as a reference variable. The concept of reference variable is different.
so for
Hmm.
an example, if we use any variable like b
Hmm.
equals to x dot name, x is
Hmm.
that Raj name,
Hmm. Hmm.
and if it like if we have to change the x
Okay,
dot
got it.
name equals to some
But
other
the
name,
you're
x
saying
dot
okay,
name.
what name? Okay.
Hmm. And if we try to change the x dot name by
Mhm.
some other value,
Okay. ABC, whatever. Okay.
hmm. Now if we console log this v,
Hmm. This B. Okay.
it will show ABC value.
ABC. Okay. Let me run this thing. Start debugging. Node.js. No, it is still showing Raj. I'm getting what you're getting to. You're close to the answer, but you're not giving the Like you know the concept, but I guess you forgotten the actual concept. I'm trying to get there, but I'm sure I didn't give you time. That okay, today I'm going to take your interview, so you could not brush up. But yeah, so I'll explain, not an issue. So basically, what you're trying to do, no, I got your point. So basically, what I'm trying to do, you don't have to say v dot x. You have to just say v equal to x. You need to do v dot name, and then you have to do x dot name. Okay, again, explain. Now I am declaring a variable to which I'm assigning x. So x is an object. Now v will be also that same object. And I'm trying to copy the value of this object into v. So x is also this object and v is also the same object. And when I'm trying to change the name of the v object, abc, the property of x will also change. See, x was abc. It already changed to abc. Why? Now tell me why. What happened? I'm giving you the example also. See, x. I will again run from this point. So I'll run from this point. Okay, now see, x is a object which is containing Raj. From here also you can watch x is simple object containing Raj. है ना? X dot name is Raj. Then what we are doing? We are creating a new variable v and we are assigning the value of x to v. So whatever value x is having, same is copied to v. So v also become same value. This is also object, this is also same object, correct? But when we change the value of v, this is v, and we're trying to change the name of this, why this is changing? Why? I'm trying to change this object, now, but why this is what getting changed? See, when I assign ABC to this, just watch here, just watch here, what happens. I'm trying to change V. It is ABC is fine, but why this X also changed? What happened?
Because non-primitive types
Hmm.
all object type are referencing to
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In explain simple words, like what is happening? I'm understanding you understand this is reference type, but what is happening? It's very simple concept.
V is referencing to X directly. V
No.
does not make that separate memory. It directly accessing to
Mhm.
X.
Okay, so you're saying V is directly accessing X. Okay, some way, somehow this answer is correct, but it's not the right way to answer. So actually what is happening when you create a variable X, X is a reference variable. Why? Why I say X is a reference variable? Because X is holding the value of object. So whenever you assign the value of any object to any variable, X will not contain this value. Okay, again I'm repeating, X is not contain this value. X is containing some reference, okay, or you can say the address. It's not the actual address, but some information or some address information of this object. So this object is not stored inside X. This is wrong to say that X is holding this value. No, X is not holding this value. X is pointing to this object. So X, see, so what do I mean by this? So actually what will happen, X is equal to not this object. X is equal to, I can say, is this thing like this. It's equal to address or some reference thing which knows through which it points to the object. The object is somewhere else in the memory. This is the memory. Just think like that. This is your memory, or in some memory places. It's there. So this name Raj. This is, these are at two different places. This is what I do. X is holding just the address or the information or the reference, we can say. It's not actual address, but I'm trying to just for explanation purpose or to make you think. Just think like that. If I have your address, I can reach to your home. It does not mean I am owning your home, no? Just think like a TV and remote example. If you have one TV and you have two remotes, one remote is with you, one remote is with your father, mother, anybody. Both can operate the TV. So TV is like an object. So we have only one object, but two remotes. Here also we have two remote. One remote is X and one more remote I created as V. Both is pointing to the same TV. This is the TV. This is the actual TV. But it's very simple. It's very simple if you understand this way that when I do this thing, no, we can just write like this. At this line, no new object is created, correct? At this line, it will create an object and assign this value property and all those things. But at this line, no new object is created. Why? How can I say that no new object is created? On what basis?
Because it is reference.
Yeah, it is referencing, or we can say we will also point to the same object, not this object. X, see, X is holding the address or something through which it can point to this one. Similarly, when you assign V to X, anyway, X was not holding the object, correct? So how can it assign the value to B? Na? X is itself not holding the object, it's holding a reference. So the same value, same address is assigned to B. So let's suppose X is is address 123. Let's just say for example, or say reference 123. This is the actual value in memory for X. So when you assign this V value, so V will be also what? In actually reference 123. So both is having the same reference now. And this object is stored where? At the reference 123 location. Because both is pointing, I'm repeating the link. Both is pointing to the same object. Because they know that this is like a pointer. Just like a pointer or some kind of information through which you can go reach out to that location. So if you know the address of this object, you can definitely point. No? So every object will have a reference. Okay, when you create an object, it will have a reference type, a reference value. And the variable is actually storing the reference value, not the object itself. It is not storing this thing. It's wrong to say that X is storing the object. No, X is not storing this object. No, never. Object is created somewhere else in the memory. X is just referring or pointing to it. Same thing happens when you do this V equal to X. And this also doing the same thing. Okay. V is now pointing to the same object. So you can go back and study, but whatever I have told, does it make sense for you? Nandini, are you getting the point?
Yes, sir.
Wrap. Understanding?
Yes.
Okay, no issues. You can just refer this thing. Just go back and practice this thing. You'll understand. Just explore more about this thing. How reference variables work in JavaScript. How does primitive types and non-primitive types work? What are difference? So this is the very first question. So I've written the answer. Sorry, not this one. So I've already written the answer. Okay. So yeah. Okay. So this is your reference variable. Any variable holding an object is a reference variable in a way. Okay, so if a variable is holding an object, it is not actually holding the object, it is just pointing to the object. That is why it is a reference variable. Okay, Now, this is also very important question. What is the difference between JavaScript object and JSON? I guess you guys have worked on JavaScript object and JSON.
In Hello.
Hello, yeah.
In JSON, both the properties or keys, key value pair are in string format.
Can you? Yeah, correct. Yeah. So I'll open a new file. No issues. Tell me what you're saying. This is object A B C 1 2 3. This is a JavaScript object. What is the JSON? What is the difference between both?
In scope.
What is the full form of JSON? Anybody knows this thing? What is the full form of JSON? This full form, this is JavaScript object notation. JS stands for JavaScript. O means object notation. Why it is used? It is used to store data or transfer data through the APIs. Let's suppose you call an API. You want to send some data to the .NET API, to the Python API, whatever is the backend language. Doesn't matter. You want to request some data, you want to get the response. So nowadays, JSON format has become very popular. So JSON format is very simple. It's a string. Actually, JSON is nothing but a string. Because how do you transfer data from one API to another? Is ultimately a string. So you do like this, no? You same thing like this object. If I have to convert it into JSON, do same thing. Just it will have. Arun, what did you say?
Properties and value both are
Yeah.
in string format.
Both are in string format. No, values will not be in string format because let's suppose this is a number. It will be a number only. Okay. Yeah. So it will be only the property. So if I assign this to where JSON, this is right. Even but I will write in single quotes. This is like a string. It will not work here because this is not valid in JavaScript. It is ultimately a string. Okay. I will give you an example. How to convert any object into JSON? It's very simple. You know how to convert any object into JSON? Any idea? You use this. Let's try to figure out how to convert a JavaScript object into JSON. This is C. This JSON is a string. I'm giving you a hint. Have you used it somewhere?
Stringify.
Correct. Stringify. So what is the syntax of that? JSON. Okay, this is one class available in JavaScript. Dot. See, stringify method is already there, correct? To convert your object into JSON. What is the object name? A. Okay, so if I do this thing, see the output. View debug console. Okay, so your debug console because you're debugging. Here's the output ABC double quotes. Okay, suppose I create more properties like X, Y, Z. Again, I create one more object. Again, I create, let's suppose, some other like Q1, the array 30. Okay. Now I will try again. Hai na? Let's see the output. Just see the output. Everything is double quotes. Can you see this? Value will not change. This is the value. 1, 2, 3 is the value. It will not change. Okay. If it is value is let's suppose it is in number, it will be number only. So 1 2 3 is not in double quotes. Can you see this thing? Only the key value, the property value will be in double quotes. Like this ABC XYZ Q1. These are the property key values, no? These are in
Then
double quotes.
what
Yeah.
if ABC that value in string format?
It will be string only. Suppose I make it, let's suppose string will not change, no? It will be string only, no? If I write wrap, it will be wrap only with double quotes only. So it will not change. No? See, it is same, no? Wrap. Double quotes. Only this will change to double quotes. Your this thing. Uh, uh, Properties will change to double quotes. That is a mandatory in JSON. In JSON format, everything has to be in double quotes. Not everything. The every key values or the properties value. The value, not the values. Value will not change. If it is string, here also it is string. If it was earlier number, it was number only. Correct? 1 2 3. So always use this syntax to convert. So what is it is doing? It is converting object into a JSON string, and the same value we pass in the where in the APIs. Many times we call the APIs. If we pass this thing, JSON will stringify many times. Okay, so this is what we do. Even if you go, you can try this thing on the console on your what I can say. If I just copy this thing, sorry, control this copy, control C. If we just go here and I copy in developer tools,